Thank you, sir, for giving me this opportunity again to speak. So I'll share my screen now. Please let me know if it is visible. Okay, okay, okay. So I'll just go to the PPT. You can see the screen, sir? Okay, okay, okay. I'll just do it again. Now it is okay? Okay, okay. So the first thing that I want to tell you is, let me not call it as the role of students teacher relationship in academic success, but as fostering academic excellence, the significance of student teacher relationship. We all know what relation we share with the children, because this is a very pure relationship, very innocent relationship, a very good relationship what we share with them. So how to foster this academic relation excellence, how to foster it with this student teacher relationship. So I'll take you ahead with this. So firstly, I would like to tell you that, to introduce that, in this presentation we will explore the significance of student teacher relationship in fostering the academic excellence. Now, what can be done? We all share a good relation with our children. We all go to classes. We have a rapport with them. We, what shall we do, or what more can we do in our class so that we have a good teacher student relationship? Why is that needed? It is needed so that we can foster academic excellence. You know, ultimately, they come to school or college to get knowledge, and being in a post like coordinator or principal, we look for the results, because we hire so many teachers in our institutes. We hire them because they are good enough to give their knowledge to the children. So it is, you know, the selection of teacher is also a very big task, because we need to check so many aspects. It is not only the content knowledge, it is so many different aspects that come into place. Okay, for example, we tell that the teacher should be well engaged in the class. So when I tell the student should be engaged in the class, what am I focusing on? Focusing on is, am I letting each and every child focus towards me? Am I involving every every child of my class to listen to me? Am I not boring them? Every child. See, children can be shy, they might fear. There are many aspects in their mind, because when we ask questions, when we don't answer, they might not know the reason, but we cannot label that child or tell that he is not or she is not good in studies. So we cannot let him not answer. Let the good child answer. We cannot do that. As a teacher, we have to engage each and every child of the class. Then comes motivation as a facilitator. Teachers are the best facilitators, or they are facilitators. What is the major role? They have to motivate them. Motivate in the sense that every child should look up to you when you enter the class, or they should wait for you to come to the class. That yes, today I have become this person just because my teacher's motivation. Children will remember you all their life just because the fact that you have motivated them. And when we engage, when we motivate, what comes along? Achievements. And that is what every institute is looking for. As we have institute, we belong to different institutes. What is a pride moment for us? When we display the results after the university exams and the board exams. When we display the results, the teachers, the management, everyone is on cloud nine because they are showcasing what quality teachers they have, what kind of institution it is, what kind of children we are pushing to the future.
Ma'am, your slide is not moving.
Yes, this is the introduction page only where I am talking about. I'll go ahead. Okay. So I was just focusing on the engagement, the motivation, and the achievement aspects. Now I'll move ahead. Defining student-teacher relationships. So how can you define? I want you to answer for you. How is the student-teacher relationship defined? I want to get an answer from you. Anyone who is interested, please let this be an interactive
We
session.
will get interactive, ma'am. Then they will be always concentrating with us in subjects. Also, they are really they will be get excitement when this class will come and when ma'am will come to handle this subject.
Correct. So one aspect what you are told is about interaction. Okay. But to interact with you, it is very important that the student has connected with you. Yes. So the student-teacher relationship encompasses the emotional connection and interaction between educators and their students. These relationships are characterized by trust, respect, and support. And I can give you example, like I had a child in my class who would not talk, who would not share anything. He was very passive in the class. Now, how to make the child talk? The first thing is talking to the child and understanding what his problems are. And when I understand the problem and keep it with me and find a solution for him, then builds the trust that yes, this teacher has understood my problem, has given me a solution, and also not discussed about it to anyone. So this, there are so many children, that they never um, share it with the parents even. It is the teachers they feel more comfortable with. So this is what I'm talking about. When that trust builds, the student teacher relationship takes another level. You might have heard that parents coming to you and telling, ma'am, he doesn't listen to me. He only listens to this teacher. Whatever she says, he's happy with that. Many instances have come across us, right? So this is what the trust relationship between the student and the teacher plays a very important role. And also, when we have built that connect, make them understand, children, you should not lose the respect. What happens is, when we talk to children, we tend to make them our friends by to understand their problems and give solution. And also sometimes, as teachers, we try to get information from the class from some children. So we try to ask them in a very friendly way. So we tend to build a very good relationship in friendship aspects. Now, it is very important for a teacher to make them understand that though we have a friendship between us, the child should not lose respect or talk disrespectfully with you all. That becomes a very important thing to tell them and convey them. And also, we need to support them to an extent, because ultimately they look upon the teachers as their role models. So it becomes our responsibility to support in their ups and downs. Every child is not same, there are different categories of children. So we have to understand that everybody is same for us, and with no partiality we have to look upon them. Next, I would tell about factors influencing teacher-student relationship. Again, I want to ask everyone, according to you, what can be the factor which can actually influence this relationship? Anybody who want to speak, please, you can unmute yourself and speak.
When we speak to some person, they will think some partiality was going on like that, ma'am.
So how can you improve that? How can you improve that relationship?
We want to speak to every person and we want to interact everybody. We should not concern about a single person, and we should not give some eye contact to on single person, ma'am.
Correct. So the major thing is communication. I think
Yes,
everyone
ma'am.
will agree to this. है ना?
Yes.
Because communication is the best thing where we can clear out things. If the child, suppose when we enter the class and we say something, but some children might not take it positive, and some children might give back answers to you, and you might not consider it correct and take it as disrespectful, the way the child has replied to you. The only solution is having a clear communication. Every problem will be sorted. You should be very particular about your needs. You are the best person to tell the children or to convey the message how the child should behave with you. What is the line and where they should be? They should not cross the line. How will they know? Only with the means of communication. You should be very open to them and you should tell, no, this is not the way. This is the way. Also, when they have a problem, how to reach up to them? Communication. Yes, because I don't know what is there in your mind right now, unless and until you tell me what is going in your mind. Similarly, what are you going through? I don't know. There might be XYZ things going in at your place, at your home, at your workplace, different places, like there are so many mindset at the back of the mind. You're listening to me, but at the back of the mind, you are thinking what to cook or what I have to eat tonight. So there's so many things going on in your mind. So I am unable to identify what the points are unless and until we communicate. And then we should have empathy for them. As teachers, we all have baggages on our shoulders. Do you agree? Maybe workplace or school or home, we all have some or the other baggage. But it is very important that when we enter the class, we don't take that baggage. You know what happens when we take that baggage? We lose one thing. We lose a factor. And that factor is empathy. Do you agree, teachers?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. And then cultural awareness. It is very important to understand that every child in the class doesn't come from the same background or come from the same culture. So we should be very specific when we talk about any culture or differentiate them in cultural basis. So that is very important. Like we should be aware that what we are speaking, we should not hurt any cultural sentiments of children. Then influence the quality of, so these aspects are actually the factors which influence the student-teacher relationship. And if we actually understand that these points, the communication aspect, the empathy aspect, and the cultural awareness aspect, don't you think that we can build up very positive connection with them? Yes? Don't you think so?
Oh,
Yes, sir? You're speaking
थोड़ी देर के
something?
बाद कॉल करता है.
Acha, he's not mute. He has not muted himself. Okay. Okay. So, if we think of these factors, yes, we can build a very positive teacher-student relationship in the class. Then we have impact on student engagement. How can we engage these children and what impacts it? The strong student-teacher relationship promote active participation. Don't you think? If I go to teach mathematics or biochemistry, okay, so the children excelling in those subjects, you will see very hyperactive in the class and they want to answer everything. But at the same time, the child won't be answering in mathematics class. Depends. Correct? So when you build up that relationship with the children or the child, you can actually see how it is fruitful. Okay? And the first thing that you come to know or you can see to understand that there is a strong relationship between the teacher and the student is active participation. The child is concentrating on what you are speaking. And then the curiosity. Now tell me, how can you build curiosity in children? Anybody who would like to answer?
When we actively take the class and make the interactive with the students, and what they expect, we have to know what they are expecting, ma'am. Now the students were expecting the staffs must be trendy, and also they want to be elaborate and give the visualized communication in the like YouTube videos, and they are expecting the ICT based classes
Correct.
like
Okay,
that,
that
ma'am.
is also one aspect. Yes, Swanand sir.
Giving some example illustration stories or the real stories, that is how they will be connected the topic with the reality also.
Okay, that is also good. I have one more thing which I want to tell. That is, if you start a good, interesting topic and stop it in between and tell them that there is something, that is there in this topic and leave it there. So the curiosity will automatically build in their mind, what is the answer of this? What is the conclusion of what ma'am has taught? So the very next day, they will come with the curiosity. Yesterday, ma'am had told this thing, but she had stopped. She did not speak about it. So if you leave that small thing at the end with a question mark, they will surely attend your next class with much high curiosity and will be more concentrated in your class. They'll be more sitting like, yes, now today I'll get the answer, because they might have not slept last night thinking about what would be the answer of this. So if you keep this open-ended questions and give them the hint, yes, this is the thing, or this the answer is related to this, they will think overnight. I want to go to college school tomorrow and find out what is the answer. This is how we can build curiosity and intrinsic motivation. You can tell them, yes, come with the answer. Let me see. The first five are the winners. You can bribe them. It is okay. Bribe them with not internal marks, okay? Bribe them with good little activities, like if you give them, like for small children, we do, we give them star, or we display on the soft board the star of the class for this month. So you can keep those brownie points ready for the children. So that automatically motivates them. These connections contribute to a vibrant and engaging learning environment. So when we inculcate all these things in our classes, it actually, the class will become an awesome one. Don't you feel?
Yes, ma'am.
Now coming to the academic performance. Now how this student-teacher relationship is helping academic performance. So positive student-teacher relationship are linked to improved academic performance, higher grades, and persistence in challenging tasks. These relationships foster a supportive and conducive learning environment. Teachers, I'm not talking just like that. Facts. These are facts. Like, if your student-teacher relationship is strong, you can understand the child, the academic performance will reach heights. You know why? Because you understand each and every child there. So you will think what is the, what should be my next step to make him a plus child from B or C? Because you have interacted and have that connection between the child. So you know, yes. So you work on that. So don't you think that you will get good performance results and good marks? So it is so important that we have a positive student teacher relationship. Next, cultivating a positive classroom climate. So how can you keep or make the classroom environment such that we have a good environment around us? We are ready to take up that role. So it is nurturing strong student teacher relationship, foster a positive classroom climate. You know how? By respectful interactions, collaboration, and emotional safety. As I told you at the start also, we cannot hurt anybody's emotions. Every emotion should be taken as, like, should be taken positively. You know why? Because children tend to build that trust between you all. Okay? So that is why we should be very, very particular when we speak about such things. Collaborations and emotional safety, this climate enhances learning outcomes. So I hope you all will agree to this, what I'm saying. Yes?
Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah, ma'am.
And strategies for building strong relationships. How can you build strong relationships? Implementing strategies such as active listening, open communication, individualized support can foster strong teacher-student relationship. I know we all as teachers, we are doing this, but we are human. We tend to lose out some factors here and there. But if we keep open communication and not react very quickly. For example, a child has come up to you telling his problems at home. You cannot do, oh my God, is your father like this? Is your mother like this? No, we cannot judge them. Instead, we have to give an open ear and tell that, okay, child, I know you are going through some problems, but you can share with me all your problems. But it is very important to concentrate on academics also. Because at the end, you come to an institution to learn. So these aspects are very important. So I hope these three things you all will take today. So the takeaway from this webinar should be this. Do you agree, teachers? I want a thumbs up also. Thumbs up can answer
Yes, ma'am.
my question. Thank you so much. So moving ahead, now how the role of empathy and understanding comes in. So empathy and understanding are crucial in developing strong student-teacher relationships. You know, educators who demonstrate empathy, compassion, and understanding create an inclusive and supportive learning environment. Can anybody tell me what do you mean by an inclusive class? An inclusive class. What do you mean by an inclusive class? Anybody? You can be wrong. That is all okay. You can be wrong. Just guess. What, according to you, is an inclusive class.
All categories of students, irrespective of their maybe mental
Age,
behavior, you can say, or physical disabilities at times, you can say.
correct. So inclusive class means irrespective
Students to
of
be
their, yes, ma'am.
equally treated, ma'am. Equally treated their values.
So inclusive uh, class actually means irrespective of what talent you have, what disabilities or abilities you have, you all are put in a same class just because of your age. So when I take a classroom, suppose class 10, these children fall under a age group of 15 to 16-year-old. Okay. In this class, you might have children with ADHD, you might have children with genius brains, you might have children with autism. Okay. So this culture is called as inclusive. So because we are in an era where we have to accommodate such children, what is required? Empathy, compassion, and understanding. These three things play a very important role. I hope if you enter a class like this, you will carry these things with you. Next, what challenges we come across and how you address them. So, addressing challenges such as cultural differences, communication barriers, and conflicting expectations is essential in fostering positive student teacher relationship. Overcoming to these obstacles contribute to a supportive learning environment. When I'm saying that there should be communication, open communication, is it possible that every child of that class is communicating openly? Is it possible?
No,
No,
ma'am.
no.
It is not possible because again, we are at inclusive classrooms. If you take it as a challenge and not as a hurdle, you can excel in delivering the content and having a supportive learning environment. So we should take them positively and move ahead. Then we have measuring the impact. So, see, it is very important to measure this also. Why? Because when marks comes, that is also a measurable quantity. That is a measurement of what the child has studied. For example, if I tell my fever is 103-degree Fahrenheit, so I have measured it, right? Similarly, measuring the impact is also important. So assessing the impact of student teacher relationship on student well-being, academic achievement, and school climate involves utilizing both qualitative and quantitative measures. These assessments inform ongoing improvement efforts. So qualitative will be what aspects? The performance of the students in the class. And quantitative measures will be the academic performance of the students. So I want to conclude that fostering strong student teacher relationship is essential for promoting academic excellence and creating a supportive learning environment. These relationships significantly impact student engagement, achievement, and well-being. So, as I told you earlier, I want you all to take this as a take away from this webinar and look more on, because we look more on performance, we will now look on a positive teacher student relationship. That's all. Thank you so much, everyone, for giving me a year to listen, and Bedkar sir to give me this opportunity. And I would like to I want you all to speak whether this session was informative or not.
Ma'am,
It's
very
really very
informative.
informative, ma'am.
Excellent,
And
madam.
excellent.
Excellent.
Thank you
Super.
so much.
This will be great to us, and you have informed us very well how we want to keep the relationship with the student and the teacher relationship, and how to make the curiosity. Really great, ma'am. Thanks a lot, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Glad to know this. Yes, facilitator.
Good evening, Dr. Betkar sir, Principal sir, and good evening, ma'am. Wonderful presentation you have made, and I think the teacher exists because of students, and the students learn because of teachers. So both are very important part, and we should know our students very well. That is a very important thing, and there should be no gap in between. Understanding those students and the teacher. Many of the times we are having some assumptions, and we are having number of thinking prior only, because of some kind of observations we are having this, and that is how it becomes a kind of obstacle in a communication with this kind of students. So that is one thing. And the teachers also make some equations. The student is like this student is like this. So
We
I
label
think
them
that,
often.
yeah, they label, and that labeling should not be there. Otherwise, every student is like my kid, and if you can think in that way, I think the things will become easy, because our children also do some misuse, and we also excuse them at some level. So the teacher also develops that kind of nature. And yes, definitely there should be some kind of respect, and that respectful position should be there, no doubt. But we should not demand it should come from the student by themselves. So I think that has to be earned. It is not something which we have to practice or something like that. It has to be earned. The student should have bhiti purna other. That kind of word should be there with the teacher. So thank you very much. How we can nullify and neutralize these labels? When I started with the small classes, I means I made a group and then I started teaching. I reached them better, and I understood that some students are really doing very well in answers. Otherwise, in the classroom, they never raise their hand and never give answers. So, how to neutralize this kind of labeling, and it happens as a human nature. It happens naturally or intentionally, and non-intentionally and intentionally.
Only the only answer to this is be non-judgmental. We are being judgmental, that is why the labels are coming inside our brain to call that particular child as that. If we become non-judgmental about things, I don't think that we can call a child like anything, any label what we usually call. That usually comes because of our judgmental behavior. And we should analyze a child and observe a child through our eyes and not hearing to somebody else how the child is.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Wonderful explanation.
Very good evening to one and all. Respected Principal Sir, Dr. Bedkar, respected Swanand Shukla Sir, and today's keynote speaker, respected Ma'am Swapna Chandran. First of all, I would like to congratulate you for excellent presentation. And
Welcome,
since I born in 1969 around, the age when I had gone through the 3-4 ages of students, and now I learned that as you explained in a very lucid manner, that student must have a good relation with teacher and teacher must have a good relation with student.
students.
And since students are the maker of any nations, he is expecting that teacher must be a teacher, must be my mother, teacher must be my father, teacher must be my friend, teacher must maybe my enemy, so that the students can learn a overall personality education.
Holistic development, you call it.
Yeah, holistic development. And thus, I think there must be a faith, there must be a sacrifice, there must be a discipline, there must be a every sector where the student need to develop themselves in all round holistic. Just now, what you responded. So I think the presentation was very excellent. Being a teacher as a mother, I must congratulate you, Swapna Chandran, ma'am. Really, you did very nice explanations to all our participants. So, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for the appreciation. It means a lot. It actually motivates me, and I keep troubling Bedkar sir to give me more opportunities to speak on such topics like this. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.